Hey y'all, this is Amanda and welcome back to my Texas Zone 8A garden, and today we're in the backyard and we're going to be planting tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, and basil. Now, I grew all of these from seed with the exception of my cucumbers. I kept forgetting to start my cucumbers, and it's just gotten so late in the season. I just wasn't prepared to start them from seed right now, and so I'll probably start a new crop from seed probably in August, probably late July into August, and do those. But for now, I went ahead and purchased some of my cucumber starters from Covington's, and having the starters will get going. Cucumbers kind of die out when we get really hot weather here, typically about mid to late June. Okay, so let's talk about the different varieties that I'm going to be growing today. Okay, one of the first tomatoes that I grew from seed is called Indigo Blue Chocolate, and it is an indeterminate, so it will vine up and grow like crazy. Beautiful, tiny, sweet little fruit that kind of look bluish, chocolatey, brownish color, really, really pretty, but smaller fruit. We do like, at my household, we like the smaller tomatoes. I don't grow a lot of large varieties. I have two of these that I'll be planting today. And then I also grew several of the orange hat tomatoes, which are these tiny little plants. Like they're about halfway grown already. They're about this tall. These actually have little blooms on them already. They're the sweetest, most adorable little plants ever, and they make tiny little orange tomatoes. So I'm really excited. These I'm going to be potting up in some beautiful terracotta pots. Now I am growing a couple of different varieties of peppers. I'm growing a hot pepper. This first one is called Jedi, and it's a hot pepper. These are going to be going in terracotta plants, and I'll put up a picture so you can see. I haven't grown this particular variety before, but it's similar to a jalapeno. Then I'm growing a sweet pepper called Escamillo. It's kind of a beautiful yellow pepper. I have not grown that one before as well. And it's also going to be going in some beautiful terracotta pots. And then the last variety of pepper is actually an ornamental pepper, and it's called Jigsaw, and it has variegated leaves. It has not done as well in a seedling. I think that they've been too wet, and so I am anxious to actually get these in some little pots as well. The idea is I'm going to grow these on, and then potentially these are something I can use as an accent plant in some containers at a later point in time. Okay, and then I'm starting two varieties of cucumbers. Now, I selected these actual seedlings because each of them had 3 to 4 plants in one container. I paid $3.99 for each of these. This first one is called Cucumber Straight 8, and this guy is about 8 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide, full sun. These are supposed to be really good as like a slicer, a slicing cucumber. I was trying to say computer. This other variety is cucumber gherkin. So this one's about 10 feet tall, 2 to 3 feet wide. And this one is excellent as mini cucumbers, but also mini pickling cucumbers, which I love to pickle cucumbers. And I usually will show a recipe on that each year. But I bought these because they have multiple seedlings in each of the containers. So I didn't feel overly bad that I was paying $3.99 considering I was getting 3 to 4 plants in each of these. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with the cucumbers and the indigo chocolate tomatoes, as they're going to be planted at the back of the garden so that they can trellis over some of the cattle panels. Okay, I'm going to be starting with the indigo blue chocolate tomatoes. These are vining tomatoes. So a couple of different things when starting with a vining tomato like this. We want to actually bury as much in the ground as we possibly can. All along this stem, these tomatoes and all tomatoes are capable of creating roots all along this. So while I can plant it like this, I can also remove all these leaves and plant this a good 4 to 5 inches deeper, allowing for a stronger root system and allowing for your tomatoes just to have more strength and nutrients along the way with this stronger root system. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to pinch off the loose leaves down here. All right, so I'm good to go now. I'm going to plant all the way to this point, so I'm going to have to dig pretty deep, and then I am also going to include plant tone in this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and move some of my bark out of the way. working down pretty deep. So then let's see what this guy looks like. Oh, beautiful root structure. He was definitely trying to wind up here at the bottom. So it's definitely time to plant him. So I'm going to go push this as far down as I possibly can. Let me add some plant tone. And then I'm going to backfill with this additional soil and the bark mulch. Just like that. Wonderful. I'm also going to pull one more leaf off. I don't like for my leaves to touch the ground because it can bring in disease. So I've got one that's going to be on this side, and then I'm going to do the other on this side. All right, and same thing with this guy. I'm just going to go ahead and break off all the leaves at the base. Just like that. Beautiful roots. They look great. Oh, let me throw in some plant tone. All right, and then we're going to push this guy down as far as we can and backfill it. All right, there we go, easy peasy. We've got both of these planted and we are good to go. So let's move on to cucumbers. Okay, since both of these cucumbers are minimum 8 to 10 feet, I'm going to put one set on this side to grow up and over and one set on this side to grow up and over. So they should create a really beautiful canopy. I'm going to make sure I only have one variety on this side and one variety on that side. So, got a lot of mushrooms coming up here, so that's nice. Let me get on this side. So basically, I'm just going to start by digging a hole for my cucumbers. I'm going to make sure I wash my hands after this because I don't know what type of mushrooms these are and if they're safe. Throw in some plant tone. And the variety I'm going to be planting right here is called Cucumber Straight 8. I'm not going to divide out these plants at this point. They'll do fine. And I can separate the vines out to different parts of the trellis as they grow. I am also going to water all of these just so you know once I've got them all planted in. Okay, and then this next variety is the cucumber gherkins. So once again, just coming in here. Toss in some plant tone. Great root structure. Backfill with the dirt. And then the mulch. Okay, I have several terracotta pots from a recent estate sale and garage sale. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fill all of these with soil. And they are going to be getting the orange hat tomatoes. I want to use the orange hat tomatoes obviously as fruit to eat with my family, but I would also like to set them up as a design kind of look. Just these beautiful old terracotta pots with this bright pop of orange, tomatoes coming out of them. I think would be absolutely beautiful. So let's get these filled up. Now, since terracotta plants since terracotta plants can really soak up a lot of water and tomatoes need a lot of water, I am going to put saucers under each of these so I can capitalize on the amount of water in them. So I think I'm going to I've got 6 total to work with. I think I'm going to put 2 in the larger one and 1 in all the other ones. I am going to give them all a nice healthy dose of plant tone. These tomatoes are heavy feeders. But I'm really excited about not only the fruit, but the look of this design as well. So we're going to put 2 in here. And I am going to remove the leaves from down lower on these just so they're not interacting with the soil as much and I can ward off disease better. Now, since these are determinate, I'm not actually planting these like really deep like I was with the vining ones. But those of you who have more experience with tomatoes, let me know if these orange hats, if I can plant them deep. And if they'll still grow to their full height of about 12 inches. They're not very tall. All right, there's one. These orange hat tomatoes are probably the thing one of the things I'm most excited about growing this season. I hope they do well. The seedlings seem really strong. I gave some to my friend Kristen for her to try too. So hopefully she has really good results as well. And if she does, and if I do, I think we're going to grow a whole bunch more of these next year. And I am going to be setting up drips to all of these. Oh, well, look at this one. This one actually has 2 in it. Am I right? That has 2? All right, well, they're too far along. I'm not going to split them up at this point. I don't want to risk breaking them and messing up my design. All right. Okay, and then I do have existing drip over here, which I'm going to go ahead and connect drip to each of these real quick. So last year I created drips for all of these, and so some of these larger ones go up and some of them go down depending on what we've got going. And we will have some taller terracotta plants up here that will need drip for their pots as well. So I'm just putting the drip at the base of each of the containers. And it looks like I'm going to be 1, 2, I'm going to be a few short, so I'm going to add some onto the end once I get everything set up. Now, all of these planters are existing from last year. I had peppers in all of these, and I am not going to rip out the dirt. You can see that it's settled quite a bit in these, and so I'm going to leave what's in here. The prior plants were left so that their roots could just rot in here, which works really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to top them with fresh soil and plantain and then plant in my peppers. Okay, I'm going to put 3 of the pots up here, which I think will look really nice. And then I'm going to put 3 of the pots in the side garden over here. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Okay, now these pots are not permanent. These are just going here until I work on the other portion of my patio, and then these will get moved back onto the patio. How great does this display look? I love it. I love a bunch of terracotta pots all collected together. Okay, my patio's a mess. It's one of my goals for the next few weeks. I'm excited to get these in. I'm not finished hooking up the drip. I need to hook up the drip to one more tomato and one more pepper. So I'll get all that hooked up and good to go on those, and that should look really, really nice as they continue to grow in. Last year my peppers got really tall. I'll put up a picture. They're almost like probably here, maybe 6-7 feet tall. They did really, really well. So I'll put up a picture so you can see what those look like as well. But I'm really excited to have this all set up and to really just enjoy this kind of beautiful display of terracotta pots. My goal is to do a terracotta pot display on the opposite side as well. I'm not anywhere near ready for that yet. I think I've collected all the terracotta pots I need to do it. I just haven't figured out what all I'm going to do. I'm definitely going to have those 3 peppers across the back, and then I'll have a few other pieces in front. Most likely it'll be flowers. One of the things I did want to do is add some flowers to the front edges of these pepper plants. Most likely I'll do marigold, something like that. But I want to keep pollinators coming this direction, and I need flowers to get going, not just the ones on the peppers and the tomatoes, but I want additional flowers out this way so I can keep pollinators coming this direction. All right, y'all, I hope you enjoyed today's video, watching me do the tomatoes, the peppers, and the cucumbers. I did not get around to the basil. I'm tired. I want to head inside. So I'll get that basil planted on another day. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when my latest videos are up. And make sure you check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.